I hope this, there's not any glare on this. But anyway, in the last video, I was talking about, the death of my friend and all that. And I was sitting here thinking, I had put a missive over on his Facebook page, timeline, and then I decided, you know what? I'm going to delete that damn missive because I don't want his beloved, his grieving sister to know that I know where he's buried. And I mean, if it gets asked, it gets asked. Now, one of the friends of his daughters, I left the statistics there on a comment section. So where he's at and stuff, what it says on his marker. But she could delete it if she wants. But I thought, nah, I'm not leaving it on there. I'm not going to. If and when I go back to Boise next April 27th, I'm going to do it, and I don't want that bitch of a sister to know that I'm there. I'm thinking, I was doing a lot of thinking, and I really would like to see what his will says and what his burial directives were, because I get it that he wanted to get the hell away from Salem because when his brother died, I get that. I really do get that. But something tells me that wasn't entirely his choice. Because yes, Boise has a lot of people in it. It's 750,000 metro area. So that includes Nampa, Caldwell, a whole bunch of other towns, as well as Boise. So it's a major city. So it isn't as big a metropolitan area as Portland, but it's kind of up in that area. I think it's 200 and some thousand or 300,000, the actual population. But I'm thinking that is really, from the vantage point of Oregon and where his friends were and where his family was buried, the rest of his family, and he had friends here in Jackson County because he lived in Oregon almost all his life, most of his life. That's the middle of nowhere. That is literally in the middle of nowhere. And it's an all-day drive. Or it's 4 hours from Medford. If it's a direct flight from Medford to Boise, it's almost 4 hours. But very few flights. I think it's once a month, I was looking up, once a month from Medford, that they have direct flights to Boise. So that means you have to go probably from Medford to San Francisco and then over to Boise, connect a flight. So it's an all-day thing too. So whether you drive there or whether you fly there or whether you take the Amtrak, it's all day, or bus, it's an all-day excursion to get to Boise. Now, he had, to what I understand, he had his sister, he has a brother-in-law, and he has a niece in Boise. But that's it. Who else is in Boise? Who else? I mean, what kind of monster, to put it another way, what kind of monster takes their dad away from their disabled daughter and puts him in hundreds of miles away? What kind of monster does that? What kind of selfish, spiteful monster does that? Or unthinking, to be kind. Maybe she's not the ass that I think she is, and I don't even know her. That's the thing. I don't even know her. But you could, as I said in the previous video, you know a lot about a person by the way they treat their deceased relatives. So, to me, that's totally selfish. I just can't see that that's where he wanted to be interred. Maybe it is, but that's in the middle of nowhere. That's in the middle of goddamn nowhere. I know Boise's not the middle of nowhere. And Idaho is one of the fastest growing states. I get it, I get it, I get it. But when most of your life is spent in the western Oregon, eastern Oregon is a vast wasteland. And it's an all-day drive. So my plans are to, if I can get the time off of work, is to take time off the 3 days the last week of April. And the weather should be good by then. And I would go leave on Tuesday the 26th, spend the day on the 27th of April, because that was his birthday. And believe me, he loved it when I, on Facebook and by email, when I would send him, birthday wishes. He was over the moon over that. And then come back on Thursday. Because it's too much to go all day and not know the route. Have not been to Boise at all, ever. I've never even stepped foot in the state of Idaho. It's better to spend the day trying to find my way there and then come back the day after. But that's going to cost me probably $1,000. When you figure motel, 2-day motel, probably $1,100-$1,200. The car. So, he better be damn well worth the visit. And I'm thinking, well, what kind of sense does that make to drive all day just to visit a pile of ashes? Basically, that's what it is. But you don't want to be realistic about it. You don't want to be. I mean, this is about lost opportunities. This is about a deep bond. This is about a lot of other things. And that rainbow, by the way, that I took that the day after he died, there was a massive, the very early morning, and this was October 30th, there was a big thunderstorm. Now, we never have thunderstorms in late October, almost November. That never happens. But somehow that day, the day after he died, there was that thunder. I woke up at like 4 in the morning and there was lightning, and you could see the lightning coming through, and it was a downpour. It was like I'd never heard in my life. A massive downpour. And it went on and on almost all day. And then late in the afternoon, there was this perfect rainbow right outside the house where I'm at, my brother's house. That's this picture of it. Perfect rainbow. And, I don't give a shit. That was a message from him. That was a message. So, I've never been a particularly religious person, but after all this stuff, that's all these years, I think he was sent. I think that he was divinely sent. Now, I haven't lost my marbles. But one of the reasons it's so hard to talk about this death is because there's so much stuff that's unbelievable. So, anyway, yeah, enough of that. Yeah, yesterday was a hard day for me. I'm almost done with the prime rib, though. But, unless I'm proven otherwise, his sister is nothing but a selfish, vindictive bitch. The end.